Good morning, everyone. We're here for the Sunday Mindset session where it all happens on a Sunday morning so you can get ready and rejuvenated for the day ahead. Tony, I just want to firstly point out to all the viewers that it was very interesting for me yesterday where I had a conversation with someone who's going to be a potential client for us at Search Party Property. But putting yourself out there in the realms of social media has led to a client, and it's an amazing thing how things work. I guess the topic that we are going to talk about today is, are you committed? And are you committed in terms of consistency? Are you committed in terms of what you do and what you're all about? So, you know, it's actually leading to some really good things if you put in that commitment. Now, you've obviously put a commitment into your coffee this morning and other things. Seems a little bit cold there up in Brisbane.
Mate, it is cold. I think it's below 20. So it's cold for us once it dips below 20. So it's a little bit cool. Mate, good on you. Good on you for, obviously good on you for your commitment. We talk about your running regularly. We talk about your commitment to social media. Obviously, we commit to this every Sunday and have done for the last 100-odd episodes. But I think it's wonderful. And the key thing here, Luke, right, is when you talk about the commitment to social media is do things without expectation. When you do things with an expectation, then you're sorely let down. You're sorely, you sorely come unstuck because you're doing some stuff and it doesn't work the way you wanted it to, and hence that affects your mindset. Whereas for you, you do it regardless. And why do you do it? Well, you do it because of the process. You do it because of habit. You do it. You give without expectation, and then wonderful things happen. And you and I are both part of a networking community where the law of reciprocity is so evident in the sense that you just constantly give advice, give suggestions, give of your time, etc., and things come back to you in spades, which is wonderful.
Well, talking about community, Sean's just popped on here. Good to have you on, Sean, this bright and early stage of a Sunday morning. And look, the weather is very inclement here in Bondi. Been out for a run and a swim today, Tony, in the
That's awesome. And a swim in the ocean, have you? Yeah, right. How was the weather in the ocean?
Well, it was pouring down rain when I first got out there this morning for the run. I actually did it with another gentleman. He's a bit of a psycho freak like myself, and then he goes, oh, he's taking off his shoes, ready to go. And I'm like, what are you doing? He goes, oh, we're going for a swim. I'm like, okay then. So I had someone push me like I pushed you out in the run when you came down at Bondi a little while ago.
Yes, correct. Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's good, right? And it's good because there's always someone that's in front of you, right? And so it's about being inspired by them, being encouraged by them, whatever it might be. So it doesn't matter, where we are at our particular level in our profession, our job, our investments, our hobbies, whatever it might be. There's always someone in front of us that can do exactly what's happened this morning. So that's awesome.
I guess and it's saying yes, Tony. So many often times that people will challenge you in your life, and you're just like, oh no, I'm not ready for it. I don't feel like it. Yeah. I don't want to do it. But power to you, Tony. Just recently, obviously down in Sydney to do your event, and on the Sunday morning before the Sunday mindset session, came out and did a 7K run with me. Now, most people would say definitely no, and you're not in the best shape of your life by any means, right?
No, not at all. No, not at all. No.
But you took up that challenge.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and I haven't run 7K since, right? But I did take up the challenge, right? So, and I thought, I did something similar, when you were in Brizzy last year for your 1,000th run. I thought, why not? I mean, here's a guy who does it each and every day. Gosh, surely I can just get out and do it once, So that was the mindset that I had. And it near on killed me. I know that you were posting all sorts of pictures of me with my face, the colour of your Search Party Property shirt.
Hey, did you see the post this morning, Tony, by the way?
No, I haven't yet, mate. No.
I actually put a bit of, I saw it come back through some of my feeds or photos, and I saw the post, and I was just reflecting on the colour that we had, because we both actually had the maroon shirts on. And your face was very similar to the colour of that shirt.
Well, that's because I bleed maroon, mate. So that's why. So bleed maroon.
Didn't you grow up in New South Wales? Oh no, didn't you spend a lot of time in New South Wales?
A couple of years.
Right.
Only 2 years. You had to come back home. You had to get out of there, mate. No.
Yeah. That was, Mum's come on, and Sean says challenges are everywhere, but our truest competition is ourselves. Yeah, I guess the battle that you have in your own mind more so than anything else. And this morning it was, pouring down rain. And I said to my friend who went for a run, let's just do some block runs around. It's, it's well covered. And he's like, no, mate, I'm meeting you down at the beach. We're going to go for a run in the rain and the winds. 35K winds out there this morning.
Wow.
We did the run, felt really good. And he's like, let's go for a swim now.
That's awesome.
Okay. Felt really good afterwards. It was bloody cold getting out of there. But
I can imagine. Good on you, mate. But it's again, so come back to, and that's wonderful for you this morning, but come back to when people go to network events, for example, and they ask for who's got any questions. And, it's those people that stick the hand up, and you've shared your story way back when at the start of your property journey, where you stuck your hand up and, you got the answers, and all of a sudden people come up to you and said, well, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same stuff, and because you put yourself out there. And so the opportunity is to keep saying yes, to keep putting yourself out there, but to keep doing it without expectation, because you just never know. If you only do things because you expect to get something in return, then it's going to come unstuck for you very, very quickly. But if you just do it because you want to do it, because you want to help, because you want to give, because you seek the answers, whatever it might be, then keep doing it.
And thinking about getting to that next level. Tony, in terms of are you committed? What kind of things that you see in your coaching realm on a property basis, and what we see through, there's some level of commitment, but then there's people kind of slacking off, then people come back in. So what do you see when you're deep diving into the actual mindset of what people are doing in a coaching space?
Yeah, well, most people have a short-term focus, and it's about getting them to think longer term. What happens is whenever we start something new, and let's take January the 1st, for example, we'll start something new on January the 1st, and we're filled with enthusiasm and gusto, and we're going to move mountains, right? But we haven't deeply connected to why it is that we want to do that thing. And then, of course, middle of January, towards the end of January, it all comes unstuck for us, right? And the same happens. It doesn't have to be at the 1st of January. Whenever we start something new, I see it when people start new programs, new courses, etc. They'll start off and they're going to get into it, and they're going to, get into property or get into small business or whatever it might be, but they haven't truly spent the time to understand, why am I doing this in the first place? What am I actually going for? I spoke to someone yesterday who telling me that, goals are a lot of hogwash. But then when we actually got into it, he said, yeah, you know what? Each year I go and write some stuff down, and it's funny how it actually happens. And I said, oh, funny how that happens, because they're putting an intention down. So it's about getting clear on your why, getting clear on your what. That's incredibly important. And also recognizing that it's a journey. It's one hell of a journey, and I've been referring to the fable of the tortoise and the hare a lot lately, in a lot of my conversations. And I think I may have shared here with you, mate, one Sunday morning, that when I first heard this as a kid, that fable, it didn't really mean much to me. But now, as a middle-aged man, it means a lot to me, in the sense of that slow and steady wins the race. And don't try and blast out of the gates and do all this change, etc., within the first week, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, because you inevitably get burned out, right? It's about just make incremental gains, and you look back. And we talk about the power of +1. So if you've not run before, go for a minute. If you've not done a sales call before, do one. And just constantly +1, and you'll look back over 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and you'll go, holy wow. But it's a bit of it, I'm giving you all sorts of scenarios there, Luke, because one of it is impatience. And I know that you used to wear a patience shirt, and that's the slow and steady wins the race. It's like, just keep chipping away. You see it in your property investing as well. It's a get rich slow scheme, not a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah. The reason this topic came up this morning was actually a friend of mine, the guy I went out for a run with. He's actually in a situation where he's doing a program. It's from wimp to warrior. Now, program, it's an MMA sort of situation. So jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai and boxing. And you go through a 10-week program, and then you actually then be sparring in the gym. Do you know about it, Tony? Are you
No, I
familiar?
don't. No, I don't. But it sounds exciting.
So in that, when they actually start, the trainers actually tell them, it's like, don't go too hard too early because you will actually burn out. Exactly what you just said right there. And very interestingly, the group that started out at 30 has then now generated to only 15 now. Halfway through the program. So it's an interesting sort of situation. It's like, how committed are people? You get into doing something. Now, there's always going to be injuries and illness and things like that come out. But going down from 30 down to 15 is dramatic decline in the amount of people that are really committed. So think about it by the end of time. That means, like, you know, maybe by the time it ends in July, when they actually do go into that sparring match at the end, that might be only at like 10 people left.
Oh, I've got no doubt it'll be less than 10, you know, and I don't know the program. I don't know the gentleman, and I'm sure he's a wonderful coach and trainer. And this is not a reflection on him. It's a reflection on the attendees. Why? Because people are buying hope. So they're buying hope. They're buying the outcome, right? So it's like, I want that bit at the end. I want to be a warrior in that instance, or I want to have success, a successful business or a successful, property portfolio. I want that bit that's down there. Can I just transport myself to there quickly, if you wouldn't mind? And the reality is that it kind of doesn't work that way, you know. And so, and it's a case of, I mean, there's so many sayings that come out of that for me. And one is easy come, easy go. When things come too easily, we don't value them, we don't appreciate them, we aren't grateful for them, and so it goes easily. Whereas things that we work hard with, we toil away with blood, sweat, tears, ups, downs, good days, bad days, challenges, etc., then you value it, you appreciate it, right? But whereas if it comes too easy, then it goes too easy as well.
Josh Camilleri, David, good to have you both on and enjoying the Sunday Mindset session. We are talking about, are you committed? Not committed to prison, but committed or committed to a cycle or anything like that. But are you committed in your life and what you do?
Yeah, and it's a big thing that we talked about it with my event in Sydney, mate. It's the difference between interest and commitment. People have a lot of interest. They have a lot of interest in, in that day it was an interest in property, but are they truly committed? It'd be interesting to look back with those people in, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months time, because I've got no doubt that they left that meeting filled with enthusiasm and this desire to go and make a change, but how many of them actually go and do it? And I think about, you're talking about numbers of people in property. I did a property development course back in 2015. There was 40 odd in the program. Of that, there's probably less than 10 of us who are still active today. So, it happens everywhere where people start things. I used to be, involved in another property development program as an educator, and people would pay for 12 months in advance, and the number of people that had coaching spots with me but dropped off. People do it with the gym. They go and buy a gym membership, and the gym then's calling up and saying, "Hey, so and so, where are you? You've gone MIA," and it happens all the time.
Absolutely. Let's get into some of the items. Firstly, 13 minutes in, what do you want and how badly do you want it? Actually had this discussion this morning, Tony, about, and I think we've touched on it before, where you need to hit to rock bottom to actually get started, or can you actually look at it and actually say, okay, I need to just shift a few gears up from where I am right now. And, just thinking about when people do hit rock bottom, they want it, they seem to want it badly. Unfortunately, some people need to get there before they actually take action on it. So what do you want? And how badly do you want it if you think about what's going on right now?
Yeah, I agree with that. What I don't agree with is that we need to hit rock bottom. So I do understand that people do hit rock bottom and then they want to rebound out of that. But, I don't want anyone to hit rock bottom, because whether it be financially, whether it be from a health point of view, we quite often see people who go and have heart attacks, for example, and survive. A lot of people sadly don't, but, a lot of men in particular have a heart attack, survive, and then they'll decide, well, now I'm going to get a bit serious about health and wellness. I'm going to start to move a little, and I'm going to start to reduce my portions and, eat less fried chicken.
What, Tony? I heard from someone actually, even when that does happen and people have a heart attack, they don't go back to eating healthy.
No. So what? In a lot of cases, they will start. So go back to what we're saying about the commitment. They will start, right? They'll start to go. Okay, now I'm going to get going. I'm going to move a bit. I'm going to eat healthy. But mate, after a couple of weeks, they go back. I used to, work for a pharmaceutical company, and we used to sell all sorts of, behind the counter products, for cardiovascular, etc. And compliance was a massive issue. People would go and have heart attacks, and all they've got to do is just take one tablet, and they just wouldn't do those sorts of things. They'd start off doing it, but then they just drift back into old habits, and it's because they haven't changed their operating system. So, yes, sure, they've had a heart attack, but they haven't changed the operating system, and so the habits are still the same. All of the same neurological pathways are all identical, and so that's where you've got to break the cycle. You cannot expect to do the same stuff and expect a different outcome, right? It's called insanity. So yes, there's a trigger. That trigger is to lose your money. That trigger is to have a health issue. But then it's about, I've got to now go and change my hardwiring. Otherwise, I'm going to still keep thinking exactly the same way.
All the viewers that are out there today, I'd love to hear from you in terms of what are you committed to? I guess most people are committed to their jobs because they need to pay the bills. So when we think about what do you want, I want the job to earn the money to pay the bills. And then how badly do you want it? Obviously, when it comes to financial aspect of it, you need to earn the money to pay the bills, to keep a home, to keep the family safe.
I wonder how much level of commitment there is for a lot of people with their job. I think they do the job and understand the financial necessity of it. You were touching on, Maslow's hierarchy of needs about, obviously having safety and security and all those types of things. But from a commitment point of view, there's a lot of people who want to get out of their jobs. Certainly in the circles that I walk, and we walk in similar circles, there's a lot of people who want to get out of their jobs, but they don't want to do anything different about it. So there's a level of comfort there. And it's like, well, I like the idea of that thing at the end. I like the idea of working for myself or starting up my own business or being a, buyer's agent or whatever it might be. I just don't like this bit in the middle. This bit in the middle. Can I just get rid of that bit and just go,
Oh, the hard work, Tony. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, that bit in the middle.
The 7K running every day, that hard slog.
Look, and I remember, when I was leaving my job, I tell the story that, I got up at 4 a.m., right, for almost 2 years, and my kids who are a bit older now, but back then, go back to 2015 when we started doing this, they were going to bed before me, after me, bed after me. I was going to bed at sort of 8:30, and the kids are going to bed at like 9 o'clock. And they laughed, they said, "Oh my God, Dad," but I did it because I needed to get up at 4 a.m. because I needed to change my circumstances. And that was the only time of the day that was going to work for me. And that was a huge commitment back then.